Hey guys, if you are watching this, that means that we bought a house.
We did?
Which we did because we are sitting in it right now. And do you have anything to say?
It was exciting. It still is exciting. And we are really grateful.
You have to talk louder than that though.
And we are really grateful.
Okay. So I thought that it would be fun to walk through the process of buying the house because it was a very foreign concept to us. We started off, we went to an open house. When was that?
We went to an open house, oh gosh, it might have been in August, like the end of August or early September.
No, it was before that.
Was it? Okay, it
Way
might have been
before that.
Was it in July? Some point late this summer, we went to an open house. We decided, hey, we don't want to rent when we leave from Olivia's parents because we've both been there since April. We want to buy something. And so that was when we were like, all right, let's get into the market. Let's go look at open houses. You know, not a lot of commitment. Don't need a realtor. Don't need any representation. But we can kind of see what we like and dislike, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
We went to an open house and we saw a shooting on the drive home.
Yeah, well, an attempted drive-by shooting. But we did see a guy shoot a gun.
Yes. And we called the police, blah, blah. Then we were like, I was like, maybe it's a bad omen.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we shouldn't buy a house over here. Anyway, then a little bit of time went by and my parents had a realtor come by their house to do an appraisal. So his name is Jacob and he did an appraisal and that's when we initially met Jacob, who will later became our realtor. Mm-hmm. So that's when we initially met with him and my dad said, hey, they're kind of looking into buying a house. Like, would you be able to give them some, information? Some time went by and we went and we toured a condo that we really liked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In an area that we really liked, and we really liked this condo. Mm-hmm. And we went back and we toured it a second time.
We still liked it, but the issue with the condo is the HOAs that you pay, especially in that area, are very high. So money that you're not really recouping the value on. So we decided that it wasn't worth it, and it was hard to find condos we liked as much as that one. After we looked and then decided we weren't going to get it, it was big, it was in a great area. So that kind of put us back onto looking at houses.
Then we got to a point where we called Jacob up and we were like, hey, we would like you to help us in this process. Like, we're ready to kind of start looking. And he was like, okay, I would like to get you connected with my lender. Mm-hmm. So we got connected with the lender and we got approved for a home loan.
Yeah, so there's two important things I think to know if you haven't looked at buying a house before. Mm-hmm. And it's one, that you want to be pre-approved so that you can go into a house and if you really like it, immediately make an offer that day. Because otherwise the lending process, you have to be approved and it does take weeks. So it took us weeks to get pre-approved. They sit down.
And what information do you have to give?
You have to give them, all your credit cards, all the bank accounts that you keep money in, all the 401k information that you have, if you have outside investments. Basically, they're just looking for all the collateral that you have for a loan and where's this money going to come from that you're going to put on a down payment. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is that you have to have representation in most states now to go look at these houses. Otherwise, for every single tour that you do, you have to sign a non-representation agreement.
Or else your realtor has to be with you when you're looking at houses.
Exactly. So it's much easier to have a realtor than to sign non-disclosure agreements because they take care of everything. You send them the houses that you like to look at, and then they set up and get lockbox access instantly.
Yes.
So.
Another thing that we kind of thought about before going through the process was how much we were going to be able to put down on a down payment. And one thing I think to note is it's typical or good to put down 20% when you're buying a home because then you're not paying PMI, which stands for private mortgage insurance.
Correct.
We were looking at prices where we said, okay, we can put down 20%, and then we still had a number that we were hoping to pay under monthly. So that was something going into it that we knew. So then once we got pre-approved, we started touring some homes with Jacob. There were not really any that we liked, and we toured houses for about 2 months, which I feel like is not a very long time.
It's not, and I don't know, we would go kind of on sprints of looking at houses. We'd look at 3, not see one that we liked pop up on the market for a while, go look at 2 that popped up on the market, not like them. And so that was kind of how we were going for those 2 months.
We found this house that we went and we toured it, and we really, really liked it, and we felt like it was at a pretty good price, though it was kind of at the higher end of our price range. And we left. Also we had a list of criteria, and we made an Excel doc to rank houses. So our criteria was that we wanted a 3-bed, we wanted 2-bath, and attached garage. So those were the main things. And a big thing was the area.
Yes, the location is the biggest thing.
After we saw this house, we were like, we like that. And there's nothing else on the market that even came close to this house that we felt. And so we went back and we toured again for a second time. And I think that every house needs to be toured before you decide to put in an offer on it. Needs to be toured twice. Because sometimes you go back in the first time you have this feeling, and then you go back and you're maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. You know, I felt that way with the condo a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we decided to put an offer on this house, and we put down an offer to pay the full purchase price, but sellers include the closing costs. So that's another thing that you have to look at. You're also paying the closing costs, which is typically between 3 and 6% of the purchase price.
The way that that's viewed is that your offer is less by the amount that you're requesting them to cover. So in our case, the 3%, right? Basically, we were offering to pay 97% of the asking value of the house, basically.
Yeah. And so our realtor put together a bunch of documents, and we signed those, and he sent that to the listing agent. And we were the first people to put an offer in on the house. And the previous homeowners were in Florida during the hurricane, so they were a little bit tough to reach. So in that time span, another offer was also put in, and I'm assuming the offer was higher than ours. They ended up going with the other offer.
Yep.
And then at that point, we were like, okay, it wasn't meant for us. And I was like, I'm done touring homes. There's nothing else on the market that I like. This was the house that I liked for the price range that we want, and
Might have been a bit of despair. But then a week later, we got a call.
We get a call from Jacob, and he says, hey, the listing agent just called me. The buyer fell through. And we were like, why did the buyer fall through? It turns out he's a doctor who lives in Chicago, and he didn't have time, I don't know why.
To renovate the house. It was more work than he thought he was getting himself into. So he didn't want to take on this project, and so they came back to us and they said, hey, if you're still at that offer that you made where we'll cover the closing costs, but it's the full price of the house, then we will do it. And we said, we'll do that if we can do a 60-day closing, or if you take off, a few $1,000s, we will close as quick as possible. And so they said, let's close as quick as possible. They were motivated sellers. They wanted to get it off their hands.
Yeah, since they don't live here anymore.
Yeah. So that's what we did. And so we had a quick closing.
Yeah, we had a really quick closing because it didn't.
We might need to re-say that because you said pause.
Okay, sorry. You say what you would say.
I said, so we ended up having a really quick closing, quicker than the average, which left us with a really short inspection window. So in between closing and putting in your official offer, because your first offer is always pending inspection if you have a good realtor. So we had a 7-day inspection window. You want to tell them what we did during that?
Yes, but first I wanted to quick say what the closing costs typically encompass.
Okay.
And that's escrow funds, that's appraisal fees, that's how the realtor and listing agent are being paid. And there's probably other things.
So basically we got the seller to pay our agent and their agent.
So then within the 7-day window, we had to have the home inspection company come in and do a home inspection, and that we were able to come for that. We also had to have a sewer scope done and a radon test. So a radon is the second leading cause of cancer.
Lung cancer. And smoking.
Yes, so it's the second leading cause of lung cancer, and they do this like little test sheen thing because you have to make sure that you don't have radon in your home.
You can fix that though by just putting in a new air ventilation system. So if you get a house that has above acceptable levels of radon, it's just an investment in the air filtration system.
Yes, and so that ours was fine, and then we had the sewer scope, and the company that came and did the sewer scope was...
A sewer scope, really quick for context, is literally just shoving
a camera.
A camera that's attached to a wire down the pipe that goes out to the city water in the street. And they need to make sure that there's nothing blocking it. Otherwise, you have to pay to clean it out.
Or any bellies, which is when it like dips. Like we have a belly in ours.
Which you can only do so much for.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a flat part of it instead of like flowing down. But anyway, so the first company that came that did the sewer scope ended up being too short. They
didn't have a big enough wire.
Their wire, yeah. So we had to have another company come out because that company didn't even own one long enough. And then, so the second company came out and it ended up being only 3 feet longer to the city water, but you can go through and watch it. So like we watch the sewer scope and you can see like toilet paper that the camera is pushing down the...
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So gross. Our inspector found a couple things within the house, which happens in every single home. He says that there are things literally in every single house that you come across,
especially
right?
old ones. This house was built in the 1950s.
Yeah, especially old ones, but even like my parents' house that was built in 2001 or 2002, there will be things there. So like every house has things with it, right? So some of the big things of ours were like windows will need to likely be replaced within the next couple of years. Our fireplace, like the top of it, needs to be... The chimney.
The chimney on the outside needs to be reframed or redone.
Yeah. So there's just a couple things that obviously come up. And so we asked the seller to negotiate that a little bit to maybe get some money to redo it. And they said no. So we said, that's fine. We will just go with the normal offer. Because at that point, it was like,
yeah,
whatever. That's when we had to bring the earnest money. Oh, we had to bring the earnest money in before the inspection, technically.
Do you want to explain to them what earnest money is? It's an advanced part of your down payment that you give to the seller to show
how invested
you are. To show your interest. And so a typical earnest money payment is about 1% of the home value that you're going to pay. So we gave them 1% of what we were going to pay up front, and it's not extra. It goes with your down payment that you're making. So your down payment that you put in at the close is whatever the full down payment is, less the amount that you gave in earnest money. And if you don't do any of the closing, you do get your earnest money back.
Yeah, so say you do the inspection and you decide you don't want to continue with the house, then you get to have your earnest money back and then it's fine. But if after the inspection period, after for us those 7 days, you continue and then you pull out, then the sellers get your earnest money.
Right.
So it's basically like incentive to continue to be in the process. Like when a seller has multiple offers from buyers, you typically want to go with somebody who puts more earnest money in, because that means they're like more in it and less likely to pull out, because then they're losing more money. So We had to deliver the earnest money before we could even start on the inspection.
Yep.
So we did that, and then after we decided, okay, we are gonna continue with it, pending inspection is gone, and then the financial stuff came in. So that's when we figured out what our home loan would be. And we thought that we would go into it putting 20% down, but we ended up doing 15%. And can you explain why? Because I don't really understand.
So MPI that Olivia already basically
PMI.
Sorry. PMI that Olivia already kind of explained, which is basically a fee that you have to pay because you're not putting a certain amount of down payment in. So the bank has more risk as a percentage of its loan is added onto your mortgage payment every single month. And so we thought that the difference was going to be hundreds of dollars every month to have this PMI added on to our mortgage payments, but actually it ended up being about $20. So it was a dramatic enough difference between 15 to 20% where we wouldn't have to pay that extra $20 a month that we decided, you know what, we'll just pay the $20 a month and keep that other amount
That extra cash.
for, doing things in the house like furniture and new light fixtures and other improvements.
Yeah. So then, and then we also had to pick our insurance. So we did multiple quotes from different companies.
And usually your lender or realtor has those. In my case, the realtor and the lender work together all the time. So they gave us 3 companies.
And you bundled your car insurance in with it, so it made it cheaper.
Bundled it up. Yeah, I mean, you'll just get a bunch of DocuSigns to do at that point, basically confirming your final offers on the house.
We had to
Confirming the amount of down payment that you're going to do, confirming that you're locking in a certain mortgage rate, especially if you're doing a fixed rate mortgage, which you should. You have to confirm your insurance. You have to confirm with the title company. So there's going to be a title company that kind of jumps in at this point after you've passed inspection. And the title company essentially handles the closing, which is just the day that you hand ownership from the sellers to yourself. And they will give you some other documents basically outlining the agreement that you're entering into to take ownership of the house that you'll sign over an email, and then you'll have to sign again on closing day. And I think those are really all the parts that come up at that point after you've passed inspection, gotten your loan, your mortgage locked in, and gotten your proof of insurance.
Yep. Oh, then we also had to switch over utilities.
Oh, yeah.
Which was happens the week of, so this week.
Yeah, so...
Or last week.
Also, the title company will reach out to you and remind you to switch over the utilities to your name, so that's pretty easy. I mean, if you've ever moved into an apartment before, you kind of know the gist. Like, you say the day that you're taking over the utilities, give the address, put your name in. And so for us, we had to switch over the gas, the electric, and the water. And it's all through 3 different companies here, but maybe it would be through, 3 of the same if you live in different cities.
Yes. And so everything was pretty smooth sailing. We were just getting ready to close today. But on Tuesday, we got a text from our realtor that said that there is a well on the property.
Yes, there was a well in the disclosure.
So why did they have... So they had somebody come out to seal it since the well is not
There's a well
used.
in the disclosure, but you have to be able to mark it on an inspection that's done by the seller's agent and where it's at. But he couldn't find it, the inspector for the seller's agent. So the state came out to see if they could find it. The state could also not find the well. So that means that because there's a well disclosed, but there's no well visible on the property, you're going to have to pay a variance fine, which has to be paid by the owner. So that one actually didn't end up being that big of a deal.
But while the well man, Patrick, was out from the state to try to find the well, which is nowhere to be found, he did find some pipes that seemed a little off.
Yeah, he saw 2 pipes on the side of the house, and he said, these look like pipes that belong to a fuel tank. And so a lot of houses that are old used to have fuel tanks that basically held kerosene or other natural gases that you would use to heat the house instead of having like a furnace or something like that, or a forced air central air system. So he said, I don't see a removal document for a fuel tank. You have fuel tank pipes. You need to have someone out to see if there's a fuel tank on property before you can close. So
this was yesterday.
Yeah, and this is happening the day before closing. So our realtor Jacob was awesome at this point. He got a person out to do a tank inspection the same day. We found out on Wednesday. He got the guy out on Wednesday evening. The guy did confirm that there is a fuel tank on property right underneath our front steps out there. So it has to get removed. That's a state requirement. But what we were able to do to close today is we were able to put funds to cover the removal of the tank, and it's under some sidewalk. So the replacement of the sidewalk, the redoing of the landscaping in escrow. So the title company will be holding these funds, and then...
So it's the money from the seller.
Yep, and it's from the seller. So
they're paying for the whole thing, but they don't have, in this instance, escrow is when it's basically like money in limbo. Like, it's the seller's money in an account, but we don't have access to it, nor does the seller.
Exactly. And so the title company will withhold that money until we get the work done. So the goal is to have it done next week, get the tank out, hopefully get some concrete in before winter comes, and also do the landscaping. And once those works are all done, the title company will actually be the one that issues the payment to the workers, basically, that do that for us. And then if there's anything left over, they return it to the seller. So you put 1.5 times the amount of money that's estimated for the work into that escrow account, and then hopefully the seller just gets some of it back.
The escrow funds were
not agreed upon
this morning. They hadn't been signed yet by both parties, and so we had our appointment with the title company to sign all the documents at 2 p.m. and it was 12:30, and we still didn't know if we were going to be going to it.
We had sent an updated proposal. Yeah, we had sent an updated proposal saying this is the amount we need in escrow to cover that fuel tank removal and replacement of concrete and landscaping. Otherwise, we're not going to close today. And they hadn't accepted it until 12:30 when they finally did, an hour and a half before we closed.
And also, if they would have said no, what would have happened is we would have basically just pushed out the closing and made them do it.
Yep.
They were also motivated to buy, to sell, which was a big thing. And also, this would, they would have had to deal with this with any buyer, so it wouldn't really make sense for them not to say yes.
Agreed. Yep.
And then we went to the title company and we signed our signatures 400 times.
Yep. On all of the documents that we had already docu-signed.
Yeah.
And then they give you the key to your house.
And now we're here. Yep. And now you can see a tour.
Yeah.
Here is the home tour portion. So we're currently at the front door. Okay, come on in. So it's carpet right away, so you have to take your shoes off. You don't actually have to. I'm gonna give some details on what I intend to do with specific spots. So you come right in, and this is what you see. You can see downstairs right here. We're gonna get a new one of these and a new railing. And then here's the front door. I'm gonna have to get something over this because I don't like that you can see through it. But then you come in here and it is the kitchen. We have our refrigerator right here. And then here we have obviously everything. We're gonna get a new stove. I'm not sure what's going on right here. This is the kitchen. Da 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 da. Thank you for giving a view. We have our dishwasher right here, and then over to this side, we have a little pantry.
Well, it's kind of big.
Well, it's not huge. Wonder who left the Vikings hat.
Sweet free Vikings hat.
Okay, and then we can come along this way. And then over here we have the living room. I love the big windows. They're so petite. And I love them. And you can see it's kind of open to the kitchen, so like there is a little bit of a hang off thing, whatever it's called. And then you walk into here, which is the sunroom, and there's French doors that open up. I think we're gonna repaint the doors. Oh, we're gonna redo trim in the whole house, I think aside from this room. I think, but I think we'll do like our dining room table here. And then over this way, we'll have kind of like a sitting area. I don't know. This room is the hardest for me to like envision things in it, just because it's like, it's kind of an awkward space. Like it's long and you want to be able to go out the doors. Okay, then come this way. Then we are walking into the bedrooms and bathrooms. First, on this right-hand side, we have a closet. And I think I want to redo shelving and make it more of like a bath. Well, I don't know. I don't think I want it to be a coat closet, but that's still TBD. Then across from it, we have the first bedroom. And this is going to be my office / closet. And yeah, because the closet space isn't gigantic and there's no closet in this room, so I'm going to make some shelving. Thank you for the lighting. We're gonna redo lights too. And yeah, okay. Mosey on out. Then we keep going down the hall, and to the right is the bathroom. Now, there's quite a bit that we're going to be redoing on the bathroom, so don't be alarmed for what it looks like. We're keeping the floor in the bath the same, I think, because I think it'll be too much trouble to take the green out, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. Here we have the bathroom. Okay, so this is gotta go. Okay, then we have this large, very large tub, right? We're gonna keep the green though because I just can't even imagine having to remove it. The toilet, obviously. And then back here we have the weirdest shower known to man. It's a triangle shower. And do you think the light bulb turned? We're gonna need to redo that. It's so dark in here. Okay. And the door. We're getting a new door because it doesn't shut.
What else? You're probably also gonna want to tell them that we're redoing the medicine cabinet.
Oh yeah, we will. This will be different, and we'll get new light fixtures in the whole house. Did you share at all that there are some sun?
Yeah. So
that's the part we really like.
Some skylights that need some cleaning.
Yeah, okay. Then mosey on this way. And there's 2 bedrooms at the end. This right one I think will be Brooks's office and the guest bedroom. So yeah, and we'll redo, I think we'll do like new closet doors on both rooms. I think we'll do new doors in the whole house, but TBD on that one. And then some built-in shelving, and this needs to be painted because that is a different color in there. Okay, then this way, and then this bedroom I think will be the master bedroom, the primary bedroom.
Good catch.
And yeah, we'll redo the closet the same in here. But yeah, not a whole lot of closet space. Like, I don't even think this would fit all of your clothes.
Yeah, but it could.
That's why I get my own room. Okay, now let's go downstairs. Okay, once we get downstairs, right here we have the garage. Brooks's car is in here right now. Oh my gosh, what was that? Oh, you stepped on a leaf, it scared me. Okay.
Don't cut that.
Then right here is a closet. I think this will be like a coat closet. And then, are you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then right here is just like the downstairs area, and I think we'll do like a big couch and then a TV on the wall. And then you come this way and we have the Whoa.
There
We
you go.
have the second bathroom. Yeah, there's not that much that will change in here aside from a new toilet, I think. And then this is a cedar closet and the door is too janky to get open and we'll get a new door. So I can't show you inside. And then right here, we have the laundry room. And 2 doors to this is the scary room. So we have this storage room.
Thank goodness
With
they left us
paint.
all this paint.
Okay, and then we also have this little room that is under the stairs, basically. That is also scary. We'll be getting new washer and dryer. This is freaky, that's for sure. Okay. Now that you've seen the house, thanks so much for joining. We're gonna document the whole entire process of renovating and decorating, and we are so excited. Do you have anything to say?
Nope. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.